Who will join Matt Fraser on the podium? Right now it's Pat Vellner and Lucas Holberg, but Brent Fikwoski has a chance to work himself back into a top 3 spot as we open with 5 trips up and down the pegboard.
Now here's the thing, Sean, if you haven't mastered this skill yet, then you have an issue. This is the 3rd time that we've seen the pegboard. So my initial key on this is going to be you must beat the board. This should not be an issue for the athletes that expect to do well here. But this is not the race. The race is on the yoke carry, and to carry that much weight on your shoulders, you must have a steel core. And I'll tell you what, the guys that have had experience with not just yoke carry work, but heavy yoke carry work, are going to have tons of experience, and it's definitely going to play to their favor.
Matt Fraser is sprinting up and down this thing. The time to beat belongs to Aeneas, 4:47.32 seconds.
So all these athletes need to do is get their pegs below that line, and then they can move their way back up. So Matt Fraser has been non-stop, unbroken so far. Pegs both underneath that red line, and they're both up on the top. I haven't seen him touch the mat since we started.
Fraser is done.
Look at that.
And for the 3rd straight year, the final event is just a victory lap for Matt Fraser.
What is so insanely incredible is that you can have an event that really doesn't matter. And you can seriously look at everyone and cruise through this with a smile on your face. How do you do that?
Pat Vellner has joined Fraser on the thrusters, as have Cole Sager and Cody Anderson. So Fraser is just really taking some practice swings here. Patrick Vellner is ahead of the 2 men right behind him. That's Lucas Holberg on the left and Brent Fikwoski on the right.
Now, Sean, the last time that Holberg was in the games and there was a pegboard event, he had a rough time. He finished well towards the bottom, around 30th place. This is not what he wants, and you know what? Right now he's only 34 points behind Vellner and only 34 points above Fikwoski. So Fikwoski has that pegboard. Obviously the prowess, he went through there no problem, but I want to see how Brent is going to be able to handle the weight on those yokes when we get to him.
Lucas Holberg needs to just reel in Brent Fikwoski to do some damage control and keep Fikwoski from leapfrogging him onto the podium as Matt Fraser continues to crank away on his thrusters. Once he hits that 45 number, he will move on to the yoke, the first one weighing 425 pounds, and I have a sneaky suspicion that that will not be a problem.
You know, now the thrusters are really not a big deal for these guys.
These are your standings as those final 2 spots on the podium are the only ones still in contention, and here goes Matt Fraser on his first yoke carry. Cole Sager at the top of the screen. He's really not in contention for a spot on the podium, but would love to beat Fraser here. Now Fraser reloads the yoke, 565. Lucas Holberg is onto the thrusters. He's got to try and reel in Brent Fikwoski if he wants to guarantee himself a spot on the podium. But Fikwoski is now done, and he'll move to the yoke, as Fraser is done with his 2nd of 3 yoke carries. Now he will load it to 665.
And look how fast he's moving through these yokes. He's not even having to prep for it. He throws the weight on, loads and goes. That's so impressive.
And now Matt Fraser will take a moment. Final yoke carry for Matt Fraser. Once again, Madtown is Matt's town. For the 3rd straight year, he is the fittest man on earth. And he seals it with his 9th career event win. Cole Sager is across the finish line. Brent Fikwoski is on his final yoke carry, and he is well ahead of Lucas Holberg. Noah Ohlsen is in. That's Fikwoski trying to jump Holberg to the final spot on the podium. Fikwoski ahead of Vellner. Vellner also ahead of Holberg, so Vellner looking like he's going to wind up on the podium as long as he can get across the finish line, as Fikwoski is in.
Great job by Brent. I was wondering with his height that would be an issue, and that was not a problem at all.
Vellner across. Fikwoski has finished 4th in the event. Vellner will finish 7th. Unofficially, Brent Fikwoski has scored 84 points. Lucas Holberg was only up by 34. So Holberg has got to hurry. And remember, we have times from prior heats that are starting to factor in. Holberg on his final yoke carry. Gudmundsson came in, he finished 12th. And now Holberg is across. Holberg unofficially will take 15th. That is 34 points less than Fikwoski.
Wow.
Unofficially, they could be tied in points, and it will come down to best event finish. Now remember, Holberg earlier today.
That's right.
Won an event.
That's right. Those two guys battling the entire weekend.
Fikwoski, his best finish was second in the same event that Holberg won, and this is all unofficial. If it comes down to a tie in points, Holberg should, and I want to emphasize this, should beat Fikwoski because of that event win. Meanwhile, Willie Georges, the first man from France to represent his country at the CrossFit Games, is on his first yoke carry, and this kid has been impressive as well.
You know, I love when we have new faces that don't just come to the games, but show themselves at the games. And the fact that we've been able to see Willie Georges do his thing yesterday with those 2 wins, unbelievable job. And he didn't just, like I said, he didn't just come here. He showed up and, man, made a name for himself here at the 2018 Reebok CrossFit Games.
Willie Georges was 6th overall coming into this event. Cole Sager getting the crowd pumped up for the youngster. Brent Fikwoski is as well. What an accomplishment for Willie Georges, who last night beat Matt Fraser in 2 events.
Stud. This kid is a stud.
Willie Georges is in, and with that, the 2018 Reebok CrossFit Games have come to a close.
For the 3rd consecutive year, your CrossFit Games champion,